Hey besties, Becky here with Bestie Becky's Crafts. Forgot who I was again. I'm doing a video today. I'm going to do a tutorial. It was kind of a challenge. I did a Valentine's Day swap with Cheryl Caffey. This was her Valentine's Day pocket letter, and I did do a video if you saw it. But when she sent me the pocket letter, she sent me a set of dies like this, and she sent a little note that she has 3 sets of these corner dies, which she never uses. She thought I might like to have a pair. They're beautiful, but she says she's not very creative and she doesn't know how to use them. Maybe I will and then inspire her, and she hoped that I like them. Well, first of all, you are creative. You're very creative, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because your pocket letter was beautiful, and these dies are beautiful. So, alright, and then she sent me some that she had at home. She had butterflies, and then she had this top part of butterflies, and she didn't really know what to do with them. So I'm like, I'm up for the challenge. I'll see what I can do. So first thing I did was, I of course looked at the dies, and they're the same. They're just opposite. I mean, you just can put them on opposite corners. Come out. I did one just to see what it would look like. Just kind of get an idea, feel for it. And what I figured out was any corner you can use these. So I made a sample here, which I don't want to get too ahead here either. So any place you have a corner that you want to decorate, you just place it on the corner. And all you do is really simple, Cheryl, is you just put your die on the corner, and you can use plain cardstock, you can use colored cardstock, you can use whatever kind of cardstock you want. You can put cardstock behind it like I did here so you can see it better, or you don't have to, okay? You can just leave it blank like so, which is really pretty anyway. Alright, and then what you can just cut it out, oops, which is just plain cut out. But the neat thing about these dies, I found out, is they also emboss. So I don't know if you can see, but you can also emboss on them. And after embossing, you can take your distress inks, and it's like a stencil. So there's the die, and then here's what it is just cut out. Well, sorry, got stuck. And here it is just cut out. So you just cut it out to emboss to stenciling, and I just did the stenciling with my distress inks. So now there is kind of a trick to cutting them out, because it depends on what kind of machine that you have. and I have a Sizzix Big Kick. And what you need to do is to get on their website, and it's down on the bottom of the dies, but it's www.crafterscompanion.co.uk/sandwich guide, because depending on your machine depends on how you cut out your die. So I got on that website, and I won't actually cut it out, but I'll show you what I had to do. So here's my Big Kick. I don't know if you can see that. And you're going to use your platform that comes with it, not the magnetic one, okay, but the other one. And you're going to, when you cut, you're going to use all of your tab, so set to tab 2, and you're going to have your cutting plate, which look how lovely mine is, and then your die. And I use post-it note tape, just good old post-it note tape that I found at Staples, to hold my die in place. And then I'm going to place the cutting side up, and then my cardstock, and then my cutting plate, and I run it through. Okay, I won't do that because it'll shake my whole table, and you know how it can be noisy. So then you cut that out. Okay, and if you want to emboss, it's like, so you just do that, you'd be fine. You could decorate it, no problem. If you want to emboss, you use your tab 1. You don't need tab 2. You use tab 1 and your cutting mat, and just leave your die where it was, because once it's cut, it's going to be kind of stuck to your paper anyway. So just leave it like that. And then you're going to use your, let me see what I did with my packaging. Here it is. Okay, it's an embossing mat. And it's just a rubber mat. I got mine, I think, at Joann's. It's a Cricut Cuttlebug embossing cutting mat. I don't remember how much it was, but it'll help to emboss. So you'd have that, and then what did I do with my other cutting board? You put your other cutting board on top. Oh, really? Oh, here it is. Okay. Then you put your other cutting board on top, and you run it through your machine to emboss. And I run it back and forth a few times, and it'll emboss the image. Okay? So that's how you cut the die with the Big Kick. Okay? And like I said, if you have something besides the Big Kick, then you need to get on that website, and I'll put it in the link below, and then you can look it up to see how you make your cuts. But any corner that you want to decorate, this is a corner piece. Okay, so as you can see, there are those. Now, she also challenged me with this. It's a, oh gosh, what do you call them? It's just an edgeable die. and it goes on the edge. So the corner dies any corner you want, and like I said, you can just cut it, you can emboss it, and you can emboss, and you can use your distress inks and bring out the little, wherever it's embossed, raised areas, bring those out. Totally up to you. And then you can decorate these, and since this is a pocket letter, you could decorate in this area or stamp, whatever you want to do. So I hope that helps with how you do the corner ones. Okay? And you got me addicted because these are beautiful dies. And my AC Moore happens to carry them. So I like went crazy. So since you didn't send me an edgeable, you just sent me what one looks like, I picked up an edgeable for myself, and oh, I just hated to do that. Oh, no, I'm just teasing. So I picked up a butterfly edgeable. Okay, now the butterfly edgeable looks like this when you cut it out. Can you see that? So this is just cut out, no embossing. This is cut out, embossed, and I guess it's called stenciling. I guess I don't know what the word is. But I use the distress inks again over top of it to bring out where it is embossed. You don't have to do that. Like I said, it's a real subtle, delicate effect. If you don't, it just depends on what effect you're looking for. So for this, it'll cut the top edge. So I just took a piece of white cardstock, put my die at the top, use my tape, run it through like I did the corners, okay? And it just leaves a top piece. And what I did then was I cut it straight across, and for a pocket letter, I found my center point. You know I love my center ruler here. I found my center point, which was really easy, was the big butterfly right in the middle. And I knew that my pockets are 2.5 by 3.5, so half of 2.5 is 1 1/4. So I went out 1 1/4, made marks, and made a cut, and then measured 2.5 inches out, 2.5 inches out, and then 3.5 inches long to fit inside of my pocket letter. But glue it first to your I don't have a piece of cardstock. Here we go. But after you cut it out, after you've cut it out, glue it to your cardstock first. Okay? That's the biggest tip, is because this little butterfly has lots of little pieces. I don't know if you can see that. And if you cut it before you glue it, then you gotta try and match it all up and not lose pieces and whatever. So, and since it's in a pocket letter, I just glued the whole thing down, because this butterfly die is made to, I'll show you, for the wings of the butterflies to pop up. Isn't that cool? So, I'm not worried about that with the pocket letter, so I just glued it all down. But glue it to your cardstock first, and then do all your cutting, because it's just easier that way. And again, you'll cut it the same way as you did your corner pieces. Okay? And then you can decorate your butterflies. You could just leave it like that. You can stamp below. You know, you kind of you do your own thing. Okay, so there's the corner dies and there's the top edgeable dies. Alright, and I did make a few cards to send to her, and like I said, these butterfly edgeables, what I did was I made this one so that it was on the bottom, and I just used the cardstock, the white cardstock card. I don't know what size it is, 4 by 5.5 or something like that. And I just laid it on the bottom edge of my card and cut it out. And then so that you could see that the open areas, I just put a piece of decorative cardstock on the back. And I die cut out thanks, put a strip at the top and a bow, and just foam dot the center of the bow so it sticks up. But she can lift up the wings on those butterflies and have some fun with that. See? And then I just punched a butterfly, put on the inside, and there you go. So that's one way to do it. It was just at the bottom, not the top. And then I did one where it was at the top, like so. And then I figured out how wide I needed my strip to put thanks, because I wanted this thanks to pop out. And measured how big of a piece I needed and did a decorative scallop at the bottom. And I glued it all down except for the pieces that popped up. So there's another way to do it. And then I just put a butterfly punch on the inside. So since the white is showing through, I didn't need to put a decorative piece of cardstock like I did on this one. So that's the butterfly edgeable. Okay, so that's this one. Now, the butterflies could be decorated up. They could have been embossed. They could have been stenciled with distress inks. I'll just kind of leave it up to her, actually, if she wants to embellish them more, because, you know, you could put some bling down there. That'd be really cool, you know. So, anyway, okay. And then, so there's that one. And then for the corner one, I made this card. And let's see. Let me bring over the. There we go. I want you to be able to see this too. Okay. So all I did was I took a card, like, I don't know, the 4 by 5.5. I don't know what size it is. I have some that are already pre-cut with envelopes to match, and I just placed it on the corner and cut it out, and I placed the other one on the other corner. I can find it here. And cut it out. Cut them out at the same time. And I could have embossed them and stenciled them with distress inks if I wanted. I just left them plain, cut out, and then I put a piece of cardstock on the back so that you could see the decorative edge. And since it's pretty delicate, it just gives it more strength. And then I just cut out some butterflies and put them on foam dots and made a bow and put a foam dot on it, and of course a little butterfly punch there in the center, and it says thanks in the middle. So she's having surgery next week, so I thought she might need some thank you cards to send out to people. So there's that. So I hope that all made sense and answered questions. And like I said, I'll put their website down below so that you can check out their site if you want to know how to cut them out with your machine, if it's different than a Sizzix. And I hope, Cheryl, that helped give you some ideas on what you can do with it and using it with your pocket letters. And your edgeable can also go along at the edge of a card. I say we wanted to, turn the card this way. We could have done that and placed the butterflies this way, like so, and then just cut straight across there where it kind of ends, and then put the cardstock behind it and done the same thing. And butterflies would have been facing out, you know. So you might want to have done something different than over here, but you know, that's an idea too. So I think if you just practice and play with them, you'll have fun. You'll figure it out. You can't go wrong. That's what I did. I just got cardstock out, white cardstock, and just played around, had some fun, and you can't do it wrong. You can't do it wrong. It's art. You can't do art wrong. I don't think you can anyway. So, now Cheryl, if you're watching, you need to turn off your video camera, your YouTube, because I'm going to show everyone a card that I made for you using these dies. And so, goodbye, Cheryl. Alright, and everybody hang out with me for 1 sec, because I have to grab one more die that I used on that card. So, okay. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully Cheryl's gone. So, what I did was I made her a get well card. And here's the card. You can see that. I wish I could zoom out more. Maybe I need to raise my camera. But I made her an easel card. And on the bottom there, that says get well soon. Let me show you. An easel card. Okay. Now, I'll start it at the bottom and then I will put it flat and we'll talk about all the goodies up here. So, I had a die that says get well soon and an edge punch here, and I put gold paper behind it so that it would pop, and this is just a decorative edge punch that I had, and I used 2 pieces of foam tape. I stacked it up, the foam tape, so that it gave more for the card to sit against. I don't know how to describe that otherwise. And then I'll lay it flat. And it's kind of hard to see because it's covered with flowers, but I used the corner dies there in the corner. And I had bought a different edgeable for the top. And that's right here. And it's called Rococo. and that is up here. And then I also used a classic floral frame. And like I said, these dies are gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. So what I did first was I cut my top edge, and I figured out how to evenly space it out so it was the same width on each side, and I centered my, oops, this die goes this way. I centered this die using the rose underneath this, cut it out, and then kind of figured out where these needed to go, so I knew where I needed to cut my corners, and I did that. So I used those 3 die sets. And then I use a decorative punch for the corner on the bottom. There's some gems there at the top. And what I did was I used tulle, gold glitter tulle, which has glitter everywhere now, and some, I guess it's red, kind of burgundy red tulle. Put them together and put them behind the flowers. And I made the flowers with some punches that I had. I've got 3 roses, and then I've got some like daisies, and there's some butterflies, and just some little flowers. I took colors from the background paper, and each of the flowers has either a gem in it or like some gold bling. And I had a die to cut out some leaves and vines, so I cut those out too. And there's her for her get well card. I thought, well, she's recuperating, something nice to look at. But then there's pretty dies. And I just left it at the top, standing up at the top. And then if you look at the back side, I covered the back side with paper, and it's just wishing you a speedy recovery. So just like that. So using those types of dies, that's what I came up with, and she'll get that. She'll be able to study it, figure it all out, and how to use her dies, and hopefully make the same thing. I hope it helped her, and I hope maybe it helped you if you guys bought some dies like this and weren't sure what to do with them. Just your edgeables go along an edge, and your corners go on corners, and your frames are frames. You know, it's kind of all that it is. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial. I hope you understood everything. I feel like I was babbling. But these dies are a lot of fun. Check them out. I'll put that website down at the bottom. And that's it. So, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. And keep crafting. Hi, Mom. Hi, Irina. Take care. Bye.